Hey there, Mr. Redder here. Welcome back to another episode of Reddit Podcast Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today. My girlfriend is trying to make me shower more than once a week. Not gonna happen. After that, boss told me to deep clean the back and to not come out to the front for any reason, so I did. And after that, am I the jerk for saying my wedding will be a no young adults wedding, even though my family isn't happy about it? Now for every thumbs up this video gets, one Karen has to shower more than once a week.
You can't tell anyone to shower more, Reddit boy. You smell like my grandma's cat after the snow thawed out and we found her.
So please smash that like button and subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. My girlfriend is trying to make me shower more than once a week. Not gonna happen. I, 24 male, know that a lot of people will just look at the title and just say I'm in the wrong because of the stigma, but hear me out. It's winter where I live, so I'm consistently cold and not really sweating or anything. I usually shower when I feel gross, and it usually takes me 5 to 6 days before I actually start to feel gross. I'm not crazy. In the summer when it's hot and sticky, I shower every 2 to 3 days like normal, but it just doesn't feel necessary in the winter. Anyway, the inciting incident here was on Sunday. I was ordering more shampoo and commented on how the price had almost doubled since last time. My girlfriend, who's 29, asked when I last ordered it, and it was sometime in mid-2020. She was shocked. How did it take you almost 3 years to go through a single bottle of shampoo? I told her that I don't use a lot, and eventually we got into how frequently I shower, and she acted like I was crazy. She didn't even know that I was averaging 1 shower a week because I keep good hygiene. I groom myself regularly, and I wear deodorant, so I don't think anyone can really tell the difference. Then my girlfriend, we'll call her Granite, just starts going on about how, oh, that explains the smell, and stuff like that. I totally think she was just making it up at this point. I've been dating her for 2 years, and she's never commented about my smell or anything. There's no way she just happened to decide that I smell bad now that she knows my shower schedule. She's just trying to shame me. We argued for a while about it, and then she went home. Today, I saw my mom, who's 56, for lunch, and I told her about it. She agreed with me that it's fine and that she's never thought that I looked greasy or unclean. My mom also said that I should consider showering at least a couple of times a week if Granite has a problem with it. But if she can't actually tell the difference, why bother? I'm considering trying to say that I'm showering every other day, but keeping my normal routine. If she can actually tell the difference, she will know. But if not, then it will just be a little white lie. Is this wrong for me to do? Am I a supervillain just because I'm not following the societal norm? I remember reading that overshowering can cause head lice, but no one even talks about that. Reddit, has anyone else been in a similar scenario? Update. Hey everyone, appreciate the comments from people who are kind and tactful in their replies. I've done some research after seeing the overwhelming amount of responses, and I'm going to start showering more to prevent the buildup of harmful bacteria. Also, some people pointed out that I accidentally said Granite for the fake name. I'm dyslexic and I meant to put Garnet. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Hope you all have a good night. You're the jerk. Look, I only shower every 2 to 3 days too. It's better for your skin and hair moisture. Can't find anything about head lice though, and I don't know where you're in so much contact with lice that it's a concern. But your girlfriend is much closer to much smellier parts of you than your mom is. It's entirely possible she's been playing down your smell so she didn't embarrass you. Now that she knows it's a stubborn choice at her expense, she's not going to power through. If you're worried about your skin, make them cold showers and moisturize after. You're the jerk. Listen, I'm unemployed and I sit on my butt all day. I do not get warm. I shower every 3 days. If I were with someone, or hope they would get near me, you better believe that I'd be showering every day or every other day. You're the jerk. Ew. The fact you're looking for acceptance on this instead of taking 5 minutes out of your day to shower speaks volumes. You're the jerk. A shower takes 10 minutes. Your girlfriend has been tolerating your smell for 2 years, afraid to upset you by saying anything. What kind of voodoo science believes showering could cause parasites? Not the jerk. Water shortage crisis in America is a real thing. One thing I will never understand about Americans is how you all act like you care about preserving water, electricity, and the environment. Yet, here you have a man literally preserving water by taking a shower once a week, and you all treat him as if he's scum for it. It is heartbreaking to see. In my country, nobody takes a daily shower, and once a week would be considered a very fortunate opportunity for the upper middle class. When I was younger, I didn't even know what a shower was. We would just wash ourselves off with wet rags every so often. It seems to me that the privilege many of you have has completely gone to your head, and you look down on others who don't see the need to take a shower every day, thereby wasting hundreds of gallons of water. If anything, I applaud OP for going against the norm and not giving in to wasting water like most Americans. Edit. You can disagree with me all you want, but calling me hurtful names and scolding me and insulting my country and its people is not acceptable. I know there are many Karens in America because I've read many of the stories, but it's unfortunate that so many of the younger people as well, who are supposed to be more open and accepting than the older generations, is, to be perfectly honest, no different in how judgmental you all are. Edit 2. Since some of you brought it up, yes, toilet paper is another completely unnecessary waste. As long as you wash your hands properly afterwards, hand is a much cleaner and more sanitary way to clean up after your business. Well, who do you think is the jerk? OP or his girlfriend? Please let us know.
Bruh, all dudes start to get stinky after about a day or so. It's just part of being a man. Just take a shower, bro.
Boss told me to deep clean the back and to not come out to the front for any reason, so I did. I'm a 20-year-old male that works at a very popular restaurant in a very snobby area. My main job is to assist the servers in any way I can, so they only have to worry about sweet-talking the customers. I do all the heavy lifting for them, whether it's cleaning their tables or taking their drinks and food to their tables. I'm doing it, and all they have to do is focus on making the customers laugh. They get tips that range from $17 to $40 per table, while I make $8 an hour, and I get treated poorly. Enough backstory. Cue the malicious compliance. My manager came up to me in a "I'm better than you" mood and told me to deep clean the floors, ice makers, walls, trash cans, and racks, and to not come to the front for any reason. I'm very annoyed at this because none of those things are my job duties. We have a staff that deals with all the cleaning of the back, so it didn't make any sense to have me do it. These tasks would have taken me an hour and a half max, but I was feeling a bit cheeky and decided to really deep clean the back until it was spotless. About 30 minutes later, the same manager comes up to me and tells me that there are 4 tables that need cleaning and 2 other tables just got set, and I need to bring their drinks to them. I looked at this man with a stare of a 20-year-old that has no bills to pay, and I said, "No, I'm not done cleaning." He looked shocked and responded angrily, "You can finish later. They need help." And I countered with, "No, it's filthy here. We don't want a health inspector to just walk into this filth, do we?" He storms off like a toddler that didn't get their candy. 2 hours go by and I'm on my hands and knees scrubbing as if I was working for Chef Gordon Ramsay himself. The same manager comes back again with a smirk and says, "Wow, this looks like it's going to take you all day long. Maybe you should come to the front and help the servers since there's a huge Sunday rush." I replied with, "You know, you might just be right," and I go back to cleaning. He storms off again. Fast forward to 2 minutes before my shift ends. My knees, legs, and fingers are all aching from cleaning. I shuffle my way to the front where my manager has been waiting for me, and he says, "You finally decided to come help, huh?" And I look at him without saying anything and clocked out, and then I tell him, "Sorry, I'm not clocked in." I walked out to my car while he was blowing my phone up. I didn't care. I had 5 days off, back to back, and he can't fire me since I did as he told me to. The moral of the story is, don't think you're better than someone that has nothing to lose. Edit. For all the people that have been commenting that he can fire you, yeah, you're right, he could. But he won't do that because I'm the only one that is working the position, and no one has applied to come work at the place for $8 an hour. There are more details to the story than what I told, so instead of trying to be smart, just ask, "Why do you say that?" instead of assuming I'm just some entitled kid who thinks they can run the world. Thank you for reading. Edit 2. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I can't read most of y'all's posts, but I'd like to say thank you and answer a couple of questions. I don't have any living, food, or insurance bills. The only things I have to pay for are my flight school and saving up for a car, which I don't consider bills since I'm not being hunted down for those. I'm also having a job interview tomorrow at a place that pays $17 an hour, and I'll be working 1/3 of what I am at my current restaurant job. Lastly, I do get tip shares from the servers, but it goes straight to my paycheck, so that means that the servers can report less of what they make and give me less. So instead of making $8 an hour, I'm making $9 an hour. I did the math through my paycheck. Thanks for reading. Am I the jerk for saying my wedding will be a no young adults wedding, even though my family isn't happy about it? I, 55 male, have always loved kids, even though I never wanted to have any of my own. In July will be 20 years since I married my wife, who's 48. We were talking about having a big party to celebrate and decided to redo our vows as well. For context, I have come to seriously dislike this trend of child-free weddings. Yes, they make noise and don't behave perfectly, but that's what makes weddings fun. Most weddings nowadays are so boring and lifeless. Recently, 2 young cousins and a niece, all in their 20s, had child-free weddings. As I said, I don't have kids, but that bugged me. When the first child-free wedding was announced, I expressed disappointment, but didn't push or say anything else. When my niece also decided to have a child-free wedding, I talked to my sister in private once and never mentioned any more. My sister also thought it wasn't good to exclude the kids, but that's what my niece wanted. The third wedding was no under 18s, which I think is even more absurd, but this time said nothing. So to the question in hand, last week I sent a message in the family group chat telling people to save the date, that we were planning a second wedding and a big party to celebrate our 20th anniversary. And just to be cheeky, I joked that this would be a no young adults wedding, so no 18s to 29. This was a joke, and I never intended on enforcing this. I was just trying to make a point about the absurdity of excluding people from weddings based on age. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't go over very well. People asked why, and I said it's because it's going to be an open bar, and young people don't know how to behave and drink responsibly. Similar to one excuse for the child-free weddings, because people will drink. My niece caught on that I was joking, but sent me a message privately saying it was hurtful for me to make fun of her wedding day. I said I wasn't making fun of it, only pointing out the absurdity of not allowing kids. Soon I came clean on the chat that it was just a joke. Most already had seen it for what it was, but people were still saying that I was a jerk. I didn't think it was bad until my wife saw the thread and went berserk on me. I hadn't even realized she wasn't reading the text as the situation unfolded. She apologized in the chat and told me my idiotic joke could have ruined our anniversary if I hadn't already. She was embarrassed and hurt. Am I the jerk for trying to make a point about child-free weddings? Am I the jerk for doing it without telling my wife? Am I the jerk for thinking excluding people from weddings based on age is stupid? Am I the jerk for embarrassing my wife? You're the jerk. There's nothing absurd about not wanting kids at a wedding. I don't understand what's so hard to understand about that. This is the 4th post I've read on this forum about child-free weddings just today. You're the jerk. Child-free weddings are very reasonable. They cry, yell, make scenes. It's more than reasonable to not want them at a wedding. You're the jerk. Get off your high horse. You sound ridiculous saying how disappointed you were at your family's child-free weddings. Were you paying for the weddings? Did you volunteer to babysit all of the kids? If not, shut up and sit down. As far as your immature, passive-aggressive joke, it backfired because it was dumb. Way to take away the focus of an event that should be romantic and should be about yours and your wife's love and commitment to each other. I hope, for your wife's sake, you can turn this around. You owe everyone a huge apology, and you owe your wife and niece an enormous apology for turning your anniversary into a joke and making it all about you and your ridiculous judgment. You're the jerk for going out of your way to stick it to people. Let's face it, it wasn't a joke. You were making a point as you admitted yourself, and it's none of your business how other people choose to have their weddings. You could invite kids to your celebration, but this was just petty. Well, what do you think? Is Opie the jerk for the joke he made or not? Please let us know. Can't give me the business loan I need? Okay, I'll use your quote to secure a better one. I own a small business, and due to recent positive exposure, I've been getting inundated with new customers. Due to the increased flow of people, I've needed to expand my brick and mortar to accommodate more people. Things like retiling the bathroom, fixing up our patio area, installing better ventilation, etc. However, due to the current economic outlook, a lot of small business loan lenders are a bit more skittish about giving out larger loans. I decided to use a popular site that puts small businesses with lenders who will give them term loans at decent rates. After going through several lenders, I found one that had the amount I wanted for the APR I was looking for. The rep seemed nice in the beginning. He was very cordial and explained the process, background check, paperwork, etc. that I would need to sign and submit to secure the loan. At this point in the story, I should note that the Lender Connect company has a policy that if I get a better offer from one of the other connector companies they put you in touch with, if it's within $10,000, they'll match it with another lender if they can get you a better rate. So after talking to this guy over the course of a week, I get an offer for the exact amount and percentage rate that I wanted. I tell him that I need a day to read through it all and I'll get back to him. I figure if I'm going to take on a large sum of money, I should at least know the finer details of the contract. An hour later, he starts saying that this offer is only on the table for the next 2 hours and that if I wait longer, he will pull it and only be able to give me a lower amount at a higher rate. He then proceeds to tell me that only his company can get me the amount I need and no one else can, so they are my only option and that I need to accept right now or else I'll be out of options. Cue the malicious compliance. I immediately call the main Lender Connect rep who put me in contact with this rep. I explained that I received a great offer from them, but I wanted to see if another company could give me a similar loan amount for a better interest rate and quoted them their policy of matching with another of the lending companies they work with. The rep said to give them 30 minutes. 35 minutes later, they tell me that they found another company that would give me a loan that's 2% lower interest rate and $5,000 more than the other company. I say great, get on the phone and sign with them. 1 hour later, I called the jerk back. He sounded super smug, assuming that I would have no other options but him, and asks if I have signed the contract. I say I did, with another company, since he's operating by the Lender Connect's guidelines. I submitted his quote, and I was able to secure a better loan. I get silence on the phone for 5 seconds, and he mumbles out, "Cool beans." I then wish him a great day and good luck with securing clients and end the call. Gotta love company policies. Anyone who tries to pressure you into signing immediately is hiding something. Could be relatively benign, like, I need to get this deal across the line today to hit my bonus. Or it could be something catastrophic, like unfairly heavy penalties for late payment. But there is always a reason they don't want you to look too closely at the document. You should have seen it. I was talking with a few coworkers, and apparently something I'd gotten super used to doing in a previous job I did at the hotel and blew a handful of colleagues away. Backstory. I used to be in retail in an area bursting with old money. People who have lived their whole lives being catered to and being told yes. I was often one of the few people who told them no. There was a waiting list in my profession, and you couldn't bribe, complain, threaten, or be nice to get further up that list. People still tried, and I learned how to stand my ground against senators, CEOs, lawyers, just old money people, not to mention their wives. With that job, I got amazingly good at being strict and no nonsense in life. I stopped taking anything. It really comes in handy, both in life and professionally. The story. On our wedding block, Resume Sales gives us the time of the shuttle departure and the ceremony. On this weekend, a half hour before the shuttle was going to arrive, guests started coming down in cocktail dress. I was on mid-shift, and the PM guy and I are going about our business and complimenting the occasional outfit. It starts to feel like it's been a while when my coworker points out it's departure time for the shuttle, though it's not here. Okay, weird. 10 after, and it still hasn't arrived. 20 minutes later, and the ceremony is starting soon. Then the front desk gets a phone call that I pick up. Thank you for calling the hotel. This is Valai speaking. How may I help you? Hello, is this the super full name of the hotel? Yes, it is. How may I assist you? This is Mary Sue from the shuttle service that's supposed to pick everyone up. Are there wedding guests in the lobby? I look at our bursting lobby. Yes, there are. Changes from professional to exasperated casual talk. Oh boy. Look, you see, the bride never paid us, not even a deposit, so we told her we're not coming, but we never heard back from her. I noticed the date and time and decided to check if she had found a different shuttle. Is the wedding still at this time? Oh crap, it is. I'm really sorry. It's fine. Thanks for calling. Good luck. I hang up the phone and ignore my coworker who's looking at me confused and a bit worried. I take a deep breath, move from behind the front desk so I'm in front of it, and loudly clap my hands twice. Can I please have the attention of Jim and Jane's wedding guests? We've just received word from the shuttle that they will not be arriving, so please use your personal vehicles to drive to the venue. The front desk will be happy to provide the venue's name and address if that wasn't provided to you. Please remember not to drink and drive. Our bar will be open for drinks until 2 a.m. if you're a designated driver. Enjoy the wedding. People just looked at each other and walked out. I've never seen a group leave a lobby so organized. I stepped back behind the desk and my coworker was looking at me with bug eyes. I looked at him and just said, "I don't do shoot the messenger." He replied, "I see that." I go over to the bar to update them. "Expect patrons tonight. The bride messed up the shuttle, so hopefully there'll be designated drivers." Yeah, we could hear that over here. Impressive. Thank you. Hope you get tipped well." Somehow, this became a story in the hotel and bar. When I talked with that coworker later in a circle with a couple of other front desk associates, he said, "You should have seen it. She didn't pause for a moment, just hung up the phone and walked out there without pausing, and literally nobody got upset at us." Moral of the story from me to anyone in customer service: sometimes you have to leave no room for argument. Just state the situation and don't accept any pushback. I didn't let anyone get mad at me. The front desk lady just telling them the situation, and they didn't. Don't let guests bully you for anything. Work on it and you'll get there. When you inevitably get into a similar situation, good luck. Am I the jerk for giving the dream vacation of my ex-fiancée to her sister and husband? I met my ex's sister in high school when she started dating my best friend. During our senior year, she got pregnant and they married soon after. After high school, I joined the military. I served 6 years before getting medically discharged. Ex and I started dating. I got a good job that would have me leave a couple times a month, up to 10 days at a time. While doing some last-minute wedding planning, a text from her sister popped up asking, "Have you told OP about what you did with your ex-boyfriend? If you don't tell him tonight, I will tomorrow." I asked her what was that. She tried to play it off. I kept pressing her, and she said that during her bachelorette party, she ran into him, but nothing had happened. It was an obvious lie. I went through her phone when she fell asleep. There were texts and pictures with him all the way back from when we started dating. They would hook up every time I went on work trips, sent proof to my phone. I woke her up and kicked her out and ended the relationship. She did the cheater script. I told her Stephanie looked a lot like her ex-boyfriend and showed her one of the screenshots of them together. She started to cry and I gently got her out the door. I canceled all wedding plans and needed some help calling guests to inform them that the wedding was off. My friend's wife said that during the bachelorette party, she caught them sneaking away together. When she confronted them, she gave my ex the option of coming clean to me herself or she would do it. She did not know it was an ongoing thing. Now on to the honeymoon vacation. I had planned it so that it would be perfect for my ex. It was a 10-day trip to another country that she had always said was a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list place. There were nice hotels, amazing experiences, and overall her dream vacation. I was already out about $10,000 for the wedding and more if I canceled the honeymoon trip. I made the decision to offer it up to them, since I knew that they never had a honeymoon or any real vacations since they got married when they were young and they had had kids. Also, they just saved me money and time. They accepted. They were able to get the time off work and made arrangements for the kids for the trip. My ex found out about it and she flipped out and was calling me and texting me about how much of a jerk I am for doing that to her. How I knew that it was her dream vacation. How I ruined her life. I got messages from her friends and some of her family that she lied to and blamed me for the breakup. Her ex even texted me saying that I'm not a real man and then threatened me. She must have went there last night as he shouldn't even have my number. I've not responded to them at all. But am I the jerk for giving my cheating ex-fiance's dream honeymoon to her sister and my best friend? Take the threat to the police. You owe your cheating ex literally nothing. Not the jerk. I hope her sister will have the best time and won't stop talking about the awesome vacation for years. Not the jerk. Am I the jerk for selling a used car and when the buyer called me a week later complaining, reminding her it's a used car? 8 days ago, I sold a used car to a woman. I was the second owner and I know every nut and bolt that has ever been touched on this thing. First owner was my mother-in-law and she gave me 3 folders worth of paper documenting every little thing from the day she took the key from the dealer. Also, I just had the emissions tested 6 months ago. I've driven it about 500 miles since then. I only sold it because I was handed a crazy deal on a newer car. Well, a 2012, and I can't drive too. My phone rings today. The woman tells me she registered it Monday, but she took it to a mechanic and he said the catalytic converter was ruined and was throwing codes. Okay, well, I immediately suspect that mechanic, as the code that she mentioned is almost always the O2 sensor and rarely the catalytic converter failing. It's absolutely possible that the cat failed, but honestly, that's not the thing you jump to first. You change the O2 sensors and clear the code and see if it comes back. In fact, you should change front and rear sensors because that will eliminate both from the problem, as the code covers both sensors and the cat. Anyway, she tells me the story. I replied, "Okay."
Well, what can you do to help me? This is very expensive.
"You bought a used car as is. I can't help you if you think I'm financially responsible for this." The sweet voice disappears. She got insta-mad.
Well, I think you should do something. This feels like a scam. This is gonna cost me so much money.
"Lady, I think the mechanic is lying to you. You should definitely take it somewhere else." Now she starts actually yelling into the phone.
You sold me a piece of crap that was broken. You never said the catalytic converter.
Oh no. So I yell, "Ma'am," repeatedly until she stops talking. "Let me stop you there. You bought a used car as is. Do not call me about this car again." And I hung up and blocked the number. Now I know there is an exhaust leak just after the muffler, and I told her that. The emissions test place said that has no bearing on the results, as the cat was processing the exhaust before it hit the leak, and the leak is literally 2 inches from the exhaust tip at the back end. Again, I disclosed the leak and the vibrating heat shield that needs tightening every year or two. I told her everything, right down to the fact that I lost a 10mm bolt for the belt shroud and zip-tied it down. I tried to be 100% transparent, and she bought it anyway. I feel bad because I think a shop is trying to scam her for a cat and rear O2 sensor when it's probably just the O2. But now I'm blocking her and not telling her that because she went from 0 to 987 miles per hour yelling at me. Am I the jerk? Not the jerk. So I know nothing about cars. But if you buy a 15-year-old car with some mileage on it, it will have problems. And then you either take it to the shop before you buy, have someone you know take a look at it before you buy, or you just don't buy a used car. Ignore her and make sure to keep both the ad and the document of sale. Not the jerk. Seems like you did everything you could to inform her of the condition of the car. Once she bought it, everything on it was her responsibility. Heck, she might even be trying to scam you. What proof do you have that anything she said was true? Maybe she's just trying to get money back from you. Karen demands Disney-only gifts for her daughter's birthday party. My niece just turned 5, and we got her a Magic Mixie. It's like a magic cauldron toy. My sister, Elsa, has a strict Disney toy-only policy and literally gives us lists of acceptable Disney-only toys. But that's not what my niece wanted. She's been obsessed with getting a Magic Mixie since her friend got one. My brother-in-law doesn't care and gets her other stuff all the time. I texted him and he said it was okay to not stick to the list since the grandparents got her stuff that wasn't Disney related. He said he wants niece to branch out more and to ignore the list. Elsa is a Disney adult. Everything has to be Disney related. Before my niece was born, Elsa sent out a Facebook post and a family-wide email that anything without a Disney character on it, toys, clothes, bedding, furniture, anything, would get thrown out. Not donated, thrown out. We've never actually sent my niece a gift at all because we know Elsa would throw it away. Disney is her aesthetic, and she'll throw things away in front of the people who gift them to her if they're not plastered with cartoon characters. At her birthday party, my niece opened the Magic Mixie and went bananas. Elsa didn't say anything other than a neutral, "How cute," and then moved on to something else. After the party was over, Elsa went crazy and said it was my fault that she has to throw her kid's toy away. Apparently, her and brother-in-law got into a big fight when she tried to throw it out during the party. She also tried to give it to several of the parents at the party. The moms from her mom group called her insensitive that she had tried to get rid of a toy her kid was so excited about and asked if she was going to do that with their gifts. My mom called me later and said I was a huge jerk for not sticking to what Elsa wanted and for making her anxious about the presents, because I guess after the party, her mom group of friends got upset with her and they found out that she throws away gifts, so she and niece are uninvited from a lot of spring activities. Am I the jerk for not giving in to a Disney adult and getting the kid the toy that they actually wanted? Not the jerk. Does Disney have a psychiatrist character that Elsa would be willing to speak with? OP. I wish. I think the Disney thing has to do a little bit with maybe clout or money. We grew up poor, and I think my sister thinks rich people like Disney. She really seems to conflate Disney with high quality and high class, which is super weird. Refuse to pay me for piano lessons? Okay, I'll count every minute and charge accordingly. When I was 14, I was qualified fully in my country in a piano playing performance qualification. I had worked really hard for this and was so proud, my parents too. I was too young to join paid orchestras, and they didn't exist near me. So instead, I handed out business cards to residents nearby in a fairly wealthy area and thought I could make some money teaching after school. Teachers in the area were charging 20 euros per half hour, so I charged 17 because of my age and got very lucky that a few mums caught on and switched to me instead. I quickly had 4 to 5 kids/adults to teach every single weeknight in an area I could bike around. This was roughly 400 euros every single week. An hour's lesson was 50 minimum, with a short water break and explanation of homework at the end. A half-hour lesson was 25 minutes, with explanation and homework at the end. I made all of this very clear and learned it was necessary through time to walk people carefully through homework and exam prep. These parents paid 10 lessons in advance every time, and I kept a calendar and updated parents weekly on where they were at. One parent would always ask for a full summary of all 10 weeks for all 3 of her kids, and I was happy to provide it. Suddenly, one week, she decided she didn't owe me money for the next 10 lessons until I had made up for lost time. I was obviously very confused and asked her what she meant. She cited the reason that I cut 5 minutes off every 30 minutes and 10 minutes off every hour, so I should teach that extra time before getting more money. Here's the real kicker. Her kids were horribly behaved. They were easily the most spoiled, entitled kids I taught, and often said things like, "Since we pay you, don't you work for me?" They were ages 6 through 11. She had also referred me to a lot of other parents, so I was concerned about my jobs. Because her kids behaved badly and didn't do homework, I always spent extra time with them, 5 to 10 minutes per week, because they needed it. But okay, sure. You want me to work that time? No problem. So I decided to tell this mother from now on, I would set a timer and charge every minute on that timer and show her when I clicked it on and off, and gave a huge apology. You can imagine her shock at the end of the 10 weeks when she saw that the kids' combined 30 hours was actually more like 36 to 37 that she had to pay for. She never bothered me about the timing ever again and rushed through every homework or exam prep explanation, getting me out of the door.
And huge shout out to our newest official channel members, Jody and Betty Locks. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really means the world to Reddit Boy and I. Support our channel by joining as a member today, and we'll give you a shout out in our next video.
Or come watch this video next. You won't believe what Karen does in that one.